straight women of Reddit, what makes a guy good in bed? Don't forget to subscribe to the Reddit guy and turn notifications on. Thank you. Listening. When we say, right there, do not change what you are doing. That usually means we're close to an orgasm, and if you change something it all goes away. And please make noise. X should be fun, noisy, sweaty and a good time. For me, it's hard to orgasm without a little help. It's so incredibly frustrating when you're about to and they completely switch it up. Oral or penetration. If I'm saying yes, oh my god, don't stop. Try to keep it up. Don't stop. Pull out and decide that is the time to switch positions. So frustrating. Yes. It's one thing if they didn't know, but for the love of god, if we say don't stop or just like that, please don't change a damn thing. If you enjoy it, let the girl know. It's really awkward if the girl's enjoying herself and moaning and the guy is just ninja quiet. I know some guys are conditioned to be all quiet, but during X, it comes off as weirdly contemplative and like you're uncertain. My parents were woken up one night by me crying and screaming his name. When they came into my room, they found me holding that picture of us, the one I mentioned earlier. They got a call from my aunt that morning that he suddenly passed away. My mom said the only other times I ever cried like that was when my dad had to leave for deployment. She's convinced that my uncle said goodbye to me that night. Yes to this a million times. My boyfriend is very quiet. I know he's enjoying himself and he will say dirty things, but I want to hear some primal noises. Doesn't have to be over the top. Just give me something to rock to. But yes, I've talked to him about it. He remembers every once in a while. Foreplay does not start at the clit. It is the penultimate step. Foreplay starts with caresses and kisses and biting etc on all the other parts of the body, and don't be afraid of exploring. A calf or the inside of an elbow can be just as sensitive as a nipple. After she's all hot and bothered, then go to the clit to ramp it up and ideally make her before penetration. Plus the normal communication. Don't take it too seriously, listen to non-verbal cues, spice it up but don't get position obsessed etc. My brother could hear him too, but he lived with my grandparents and wasn't over often. Dad I don't think heard him, but Adam never talked when he was around. He wanted me to go outside a lot and sometimes I did, but I never met Adam or saw him. Then one day Adam just stopped talking and I never heard from him again. I'm not sure if this is a ghost or spirit of some kind. I almost hope it was. It's gonna be the same basic stuff as the dude thread. Make noise. Use your hands. Grab, caress, pull hair. Go down on me. Communicate. Be forthright with your desires and confident in your body. More specifically, cut your fingernails before putting them inside of me. No one wants vaginal lacerations. Since all the freaks are coming out in this thread, I should say almost no one wants vaginal lacerations. Apparently. Best tip I learned as a guy, scratch the inside of your upper lip with your nail. That is close to what it feels like in a vagina. If unsure, I always scratch my inside lip and then file my nails down till it feels comfortable on my lip. Then we should be golden. Here's my 2 cents. Licking, sucking nipples is constantly overlooked but real valuable. Fingering is really, really hot. Don't try and make it feel like a wreck either. I think that's a big misconception with hand play. I get really turned on by the idea of fingers inside me curling to the front wall of the vagina and pressing the G-spot. Don't quit twisting it around because I know what a rock feels like and that is not it. Wet, tongue heavy making out. Appreciative noises, dirty talk, always good, but if you use the word daddy, you're going to have to leave my house. The best X is Jekyll and Hyde X, which is when 1 second you're a X monster and then the next, you brushing the hair out of my face saying you are so beautiful and then back to fudging me sideways. The flip-flop between aggression and tenderness puts your body and mind on such a ride. Also, not concentrating too much on being good in bed, like you have to prove something to me. Move with the energy of the moment, and I'll move with you. I think the best way for two people to have fun in bed is to be open and honest about their wants and needs. I understand that may feel uncomfortable for some, but being honest about what you like and don't like will avoid a lot of awkwardness. Use your hands. Caress our skin. Chicks will react to where they enjoy being touched. Prime us. Do not just ram it in and jackhammer until you're done. That is boring, somewhat painful, and will give us very little incentive to let you try it a second time. Most of all, just relax and have fun. If your chests make a fart sound, laugh because that shiz is always funny. I haven't seen anyone else say this, but I feel making out is extremely underrated. Most of the guys I have been with kind of rush through the making out and then stick their hands down my pants, rushed foreplay and then straight to X. There is nothing hotter than having an intense makeout session where you're not really doing anything else than grabbing and grinding at each other's bodies and forgetting how to breathe because you're kissing so intensely. One of best X sessions ever was with this guy, who seemed to attack my body like a tiger. He was everywhere, touching, biting, licking, sucking. I don't know how he did it, but there was so much sensation at so many different spots at the same time. I begged him to fudge me, but he denied my request and just kept going with the tease. Once he finally put it in, mother of God, that was good. Further, looking me in the eye when you deeply penetrate me. Take the lead. Make noise. Brother and I tried laughing it off, redirecting her and taking her mind off it, but my normally calm kid was hysterical and we had to leave. She told me in bed that night the lady had red eyes and was scary. If you knew my daughter, you'd understand how unlike her all this was. She was 100% willingness to learn. Someone who wants to completely please me and acts like I'm some sort of goddess. A little bit of rough play, spanking, biting and lustful grabbing of boobs and bum. But doesn't take it all too seriously. If I'm made to feel like a ex-goddess, then I will make you feel like a ex-god. Marvel at my body and I will worship your doc. Marvel at my body and I will worship your doc. This is something to live by. Test test. The story is she is a young, quiet ghost that lives in the house and holds a caramel apple with peanuts. Numerous people have claimed to see her, including my best friend who is a no bullshit guy who would never tell anyone. He was cleaning up at the end of an event there and he saw a girl on the staircase eating a caramel apple. He asked her, "Are you okay?" and she said she was lost. My buddy said, "Hold on, we'll find your parents sis." He checked the stairs and the peanuts were there. He and a few others roamed the house looking for the girl. He called me and I drove over real quick because I thought this was awesome. Only one woman's opinion, but a big part for me is feeling really, really wanted. That look a guy gets where his eyes glaze over a little bit because he realizes you're going to fudge him. The line between this and being desperate is, I think, separated by confidence. Letting me know you're incredibly turned on by me without being pushy or needy. Yay. Kissing. Please don't be all salivery, not dry, but not wet enough to leave visible spit on my lips. A little lip biting, without drawing blood, is very hot. Plus, I love the dirty talk. After we've done it once or twice, this isn't first date material. Tell me you're hard thinking about pushing me up against my desk and fudging me from behind. When I'm on top, let me control the pacing and the rhythm. I'm doing what I'm doing for a specific reason. I'm trying to get off and found the perfect angle and pace to do so. I know it's hard and I always appreciate the enthusiasm, but just relax and give up that little bit of control. You can have it when we switch positions. Make some noise. I don't care if you think you sound weird, we like to hear moans as much as you do. Foreplay. I personally prefer the long, slow foreplay that drives me crazy and makes me beg for that penis. This is a personal one, but the hottest thing that's happened in bed was while I was on top and we were making out and he stopped kissing me, told me to open my eyes and held eye contact for a brief while. It was so incredibly intense. Your first point is the best point ever. I'm nearly about to on your dock and you just had to grab my legs so I can't move and start pounding me till I'm dry and chafing. Stop. I was so close. Now I need to start all over or give up and have female blue balls. So frustrating. Foreplay and an understanding of erogenous zones. A guy that actually knows what is up with female anatomy is awesome. Do not just go for the clit. Also understanding that for women, arousal is very psychological. Especially when I am on meds, namely birth control, which you should be thanking me for. I cannot just flip a switch and be turned on. The worst is a guy that rushes things to get to the penetration. I've had to stop them before and say, I am not ready, stop. And by then, I'm already apprehensive and it's hard to get into it. Even when wet, without the right amount of arousal, the muscles down there can still be tight and make X uncomfortable. Personally, I like it when guys pick me up and flip me around. My greatest turn on is being taken against the wall. Maybe because I'm normally physical and strong, so it feels nice to have someone overpower me. Also, I really love it when guys talk, make noise. The sound of a male voice can be very stirring. Also, the X feels more personal that way. And it's pretty useful for finding out how we want it. I love when a guy praises my body in a sincere way. I don't look like a plastic porn star down there, and I used to hear guys say really disparaging things about some female models in my nude life drawing classes, art student. So I used to be really shy about getting oral, because I felt like I was going to be judged by how I looked down then. One day, in the middle of going down on me, the guy said something like, "Damn, I could do this for hours," and it was crazy how good and sexy that made me feel. He would say he liked how I was a little bit different, and that gave me so much more confidence. It's also kind of weird the first time a guy calls you a slut or whore during X. Maybe because society legitimate shames us for wanting X. I dunno. Sometimes it's fun for dirty roleplay, and I'll be the first one to volunteer it. But other times it makes me feel like some porn star fantasy, and gross.